Hi guys, it's Kate and Val from Yoga on a Roll. And so today is our first virtual yoga video ever. We're going to do a level 1-2 Vinyasa flow. It's going to be about an hour. So we're going to start in a wide leg child's pose. Bring your two big toes to touch behind you and start to send your knees just as wide as the mat. Let your arms elongate down the length of the mat. Maybe try crawling your fingers as far away from you as you can get them. And then mind those shoulders on the exhale. They want to pull down the back. Start to melt your chest and your forehead down to the ground. And we're going to hang out here for 5 breaths. So since you're in the cleanliness and the comfort of your own home, you might take those exhales out an open mouth and just sigh out a little toxicity. Good job. Another deep breath in. Exhale to release. And do 3 more just like that on your own. Try to aim the breath down to your low belly, the place in between your belly button and your pelvis. One more deep breath in. Exhale, let everything go. And start to bring yourself into a cobra position at the head of your mat. So the belly smooths forward and down. The legs go long down the length of the mat. The hips and the tops of the feet press into the mat. The elbows right underneath the shoulders. And then lift the chest through the collarbones. And start to push through the hands and elongate the arms. Take a deep breath in. And use your exhale to sit it back to your child's pose. And we're going to rock back and forth between those 2 poses about 3, maybe 4 times. Inhaling to come through your cobra and exhaling, rocking it back. Inhale nice and deep, pull yourself forward. And exhale, sink the hips back, round your spine. Couple more on your own. Awesome. Always watching the shoulders' proximity to the earlobes, making it a little longer every time you can. Space between the shoulders and the ears. The next time you rock it back to a child's pose, take a deep breath in. Exhale to sink the hips lower. And then we're going to roll up to sit on the heels, swing the legs to one side, and come onto our spines. So as you arrive, you're going to hug the knees in towards the chest. And then maybe bring the forehead up to the knees and round yourself. Stretch the back of your neck. One more deep inhale. And as you exhale, lay the head down. Keep the right knee hugged in. Let the left leg go out long down the length of the mat. You're going to pull that right knee in using the hands. And then as you exhale, you're going to open the arms down by the hips. Keep the right knee hugged in using the core now. And on your inhale, peel the forehead up towards the knee. Little crunch here, activating that strong center. Exhale, release the head down. 2 more. Inhale, peel it up. And exhale, back down you go. Next time we're going to hold it. Inhale the chest. Exhale, hug the knee in a little bit tighter. And then rock that leg up long, the head back down the length of the mat. You're going to hold around the calf and start pulling that leg in closer to you. So maybe pointing and flexing the ankle right here. Nice. Circling the ankle a couple of times. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Beautiful. As you inhale, bend the knee, and you're going to send that knee to the left side of the body. Open up the right wing and take a side body twist here. So you can cactus the arm depending on the space you have, or you can let the fingers go out nice and long past the elbow. Couple deep breaths. So what you're going to do with your head is if you really want to twist it up, you're looking over that right shoulder. But if you're quite okay where you're at, you're maybe looking up at the ceiling or over that left shoulder if you'd really like to do that. Keep driving that right knee down towards the ground. You can use your left hand to do that. And then just check in with that right shoulder. Are there spaces between the shoulder and the mat that you can use exhales to close off? Get really melty in the chest for 1 more breath in. And then exhale, and let's come back to center. Both knees hug in. Give yourself that little squeeze. And then let the right leg go long. Left knee keeps kind of in towards the armpit. Use the hands for the first breath. And then open the hands up by the side body. Deep breath in. Exhale, peel the chest up. Inhale, lay down. Nice. Come on up, second time, and come back down. Last time we hold it. Try to hug that knee in a little tighter. Beautiful. Leg goes long, head goes down, interlace behind the leg, and give that little pull in. Stretch the back of the leg, roll the ankle, point and flex the foot. Very nice. All right, side body twist, here we come. Bend that knee. It's going over to the right side of the room. So the right hand uses a little pressure to help pull that knee down. Left arm is out like a wing, or it's cactused at the elbow. And then you do what you want with your gaze. You can always switch it up if you feel a little tight on one side. Fill in the space between the left shoulder and the mat. Deep breath in. Full exhale out. Deep breath in. We'll come back to center. Both knees hug in. And you're just going to start rocking and rolling the length of the spine. So like we did when we were kids, just kind of up and down, back and forth. Feel a little massage on the vertebrae. And when you're ready, we're going to rock it up to a seated position here. Take the hands down by the side body. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, come on down. Nice job, Val. Inhale to reach. And exhale to lower. One more time. And kind of match it with the length of your inhale. Reaching up nice and high. Exhaling. Releasing the hands. The next time you reach up, we're going to take a twist towards that right knee. So left hand will come to the right knee, right hand behind you. And then notice anything that's pushing into either the ground or a knee, push down and lift up the crown of your head. Exhale and try to look over that right shoulder a little further. One more deep breath in. Get really long in the spine. Exhale, come back to center. Raise the arms up above the head. And let's twist to the other side. Right hand, left knee. Push down and lift the crown of the head. When you have another exhale, come back to center. We're going to move into a tabletop position. So get there how you choose to. You can roll over the knees or just swing the legs to one side. Our cat and cow is coming for us here. So dropping the belly, inhaling the heart and the tail up. Exhaling the heart and the tail kind of round towards each other. So notice as Val continues these movements, she's going to let the tailbone be what starts the move and the head be what ends the move. So even as she rocks a nice curved spine, same thing. The head is last to join the party. So you start kind of moving on your own here. And if there's any organic movement that wants to happen, maybe some rib cage circles, right? And if you do that, we always go the other way as well. So even out that circle if that's what you're drawing. Beautiful. And you'll keep it rocking about 3 more times to each pose. Awesome. Keep the breath full. So you should be able to hear your inhales and exhales. And if there's someone practicing with you, they might hear them too. That's how deep and loud they are. The last time that you round here, get your money's worth. Really arch that back up. We'll take one more round of breath in this position. So use your inhale to gather all the air you can. The exhale, push the spine to the ceiling. Lift the knees up off the mat. Push into the tops of the feet. Keep hovering the knees. One more breath in. Exhale, flip the toes. Down dog is where we're going. Lift those hips up nice and high. And let's just go over our down dog a little bit. So Val's hands are turned out at an angle. Her pointer fingers are the only fingers that are straight, creating that number 11. All the other fingers are splayed out at a kind of an angle here. And then the biceps are curling in towards the face, and she's kind of puffing in the center right behind her heart here. The spine is super long, and maybe she can get it longer by bending the knees and lifting that tail. Beautiful. So bent knees, no shame in the game. That's how we want to be looking in our down dog. So 2 more breaths here. As you breathe, you might even pedal the feet. Get the hamstrings nice and warm. And then just kind of notice how her chin is tucked, her neck is long. So no looking in between the hands here. You want to look back at the feet. On your next inhale, nice straight legs. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, look up towards the top of your mat and travel up there as you breathe out, however you like. It can be a hop or a walk. Land in your forward fold. And then we'll halfway lift on an inhale. So her body looks like the number 7, really flat spine. Exhale to fold again. And then rise up all the way to standing. Arms come out the side body. Reach up, hands in prayer. Exhale, hands to the chest. Beautiful. Inhale to reach it up. We're going to bend to the right. So maybe let the right hand go down towards the thigh and let the left arm reach up and over. Inhale, center. And exhale to the left. Lateral stretching, opening up the side body. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way down. Yep, we just save ourselves there when we make mistakes. Inhale to halfway lift. Yep, exhale, plant the hands. And go one leg or a hop. Yep, go into our plank pose. Inhale to move through the heart opener. And exhale the booty up and back for downward facing dog. That's a sun sal. If you've practiced with us, you've done your fair share of sun sals, and we're going to do one more. So 2 breaths to kind of stabilize in the pelvis and the spine. Use all of those little action points that we talked about. The biceps hug in, the knees bend, the tail is nice and high. And when you're ready, bend the knees, inhale, exhale, travel to the top of the mat. Land in that beautiful forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift your spine. Exhale, fold. Arms come out the side body, rise all the way up. Straight down, hands to heart center. Inhale to come back up with the arms, and exhale, forward fold. Take it down. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands plant. You decide how you get to your plank, and then travel down to the bottom of your push-up. That might mean halfway. That might mean belly. Inhale the heart forward, and exhale the tail back. Downward facing dog. Awesome. Couple petals of the legs here. Beautiful. On your inhale, you're going to drop it to that bear pose. That's tabletop, but we hover the knees. Exhale, down dog, and we're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale the bear, hover the knees, don't let them touch. Exhale, tail goes back. Last time, inhale, activate that core, hug the low ribs in. Exhale, down dog. Let's lift our right leg on an inhale. Exhale, hug the knee up towards the face, really hover it, and then go ahead and step that foot through. Lower that left knee down, reach the arms up overhead, low lunge. Deep breath in. Exhale, push the hips further forward, bend that knee a little deeper. 1 more round, inhale in. Exhale, deepen. You're going to bend your left elbow, grab onto that with your right hand, and start to hinge towards the right knee. Side body stretch again. Deep breath in. Exhale, pull that elbow a little deeper. Come back to center with the arms, and on your exhale, you're going to let the hands go down around that front foot. Kick it into a half split. The right knee straightens. And then here, the biggest thing to notice is that Val's not leaning all the way back towards her heel. That's not really the intention here. We rather want to keep the knee right underneath the hip, and where you're pulling back from is the right hip. So you might even literally take your hand to your hip and pull it back. You're going to feel that hamstring, the calf, and the Achilles get a deeper stretch. And for this last exhale, maybe bow your head down towards your shin and feel how that brings the stretch not only in the booty, but all the way up the spine to the neck. And then maybe to deepen, you walk your hands to the outside edge of that right leg. You can grab onto your foot with your left hand if that suits your body. And we're going to take 1 more breath here. You got it. When you're ready, roll down on that right foot. Come back to your low lunge. Keep your fingertips on the mat. You're going to lift your chest. And as you keep lifting the spine, bring the arms overhead, crescent lunge. Deep, deep breath in. Exhale everything out. Right hand grabs the left wrist. Let's go up and over towards that knee. Once again, deep breath in. Exhale, release. Hands down around that front foot. We're going to rock it into our vinyasa. Right foot steps back. Exhale the bottom of your push-up. Inhale the heart. And exhale, downward facing dog. Awesome. 3 breaths in our down dog. Always trying to keep the body warm, but you can find stillness if you're able to use your breath to heat up from the inside out. And how you're going to do that is taking some deeper, fuller breaths and nice, smooth, controlled exhales. Awesome. The left leg will lift nice and high. Knee towards the face, really hug it in first, and then step it through. In between the hands, lay that right knee down. Lift the arms overhead. Deep breath in, low lunge. Exhale, deepen. Bend that knee more. Send the hips further forward. Awesome. Right elbow bends. Take hold of it with your left hand and start to reach towards that left knee. As you inhale, maybe the right shoulder rolls a little further behind you. Awesome. And as you exhale, we're going to go hands around that front foot, half splits. Pull back from the left hip. And then notice if that right hip is kind of starting to scooch back towards the foot. Maybe you can come forward a little bit, flex the left toes, and on your exhale, bow the head forward. Beautiful. You're here for one full breath. Start to walk the hands to the outside of the leg if you liked that on side one. Keep pulling that left hip back. And on your next breath out, roll the foot down, reach the arms nice and high. Inhale. And then curl those back toes under. We're going to rise into our crescent lunge. Very nice. Left hand grabs right wrist. We're pulling up and exhale over towards the knee. Inhale. Exhale to release the hand. Let's go around that front foot. Chaturanga, Dandasana, kick it back. Top bottom of your push-up. And we'll exhale to a child's pose for a couple of breaths. So in the child's pose, of course, these are restful times for us, but one of the things you want to focus on is still elongating those arms towards the top of the mat, hugging the shoulders down the spine, and maybe using your hands to push down and send the hips back towards the heels. Keep on keeping on with that long breath, but notice if it changes the proximity to your shoulders, and if that happens, hug them down on an exhale. About 2 more nice deep inhales here. We're going to pull into a down dog as you breathe in again. Lift those hips. Really try to straighten through the arms, drive the chest back towards the knees. Right leg will lift on an inhale. As you exhale, step it through in between the hands. We're going to come into our crescent warrior again. Beautiful. So notice how that front knee is not beyond the ankle. It's okay if it's behind the ankle, but if you start to notice it shooting beyond, you might need to widen your stance a little bit. All right, that back heel is lifted, and she's on the ball of that back foot. The right hand is going to reach for the left hamstring, exalting her warrior here. So reaching that left arm up and back. And then start to stare at that hand. See if your gaze can reach back as well. Deep breath in. Exhale, warrior 2. She's going to open up towards this door here with the hips, but keep her gaze past that front middle finger. The shoulders drop on an exhale. And the power of this pose is totally coming from the feet. She's rolling onto the pinky toe edge of that left foot. And we're going to reverse our warrior here. So scoop that front arm forward. Exhale, high five a pretend wall behind you. Notice that deep bend in the front knee. Keep that there. And then start to reach straight through that front knee. This is a reverse triangle now. Maybe bring that left hand to the wrist. Pull the right wrist up and over the head. Awesome. Deep breath in. Exhale to release. We're going to go Skandasana towards the front of the mat. So bend that right knee, lift the left toes. And there's a few variations of this pose. So notice how Val's right foot is lifted. If yours sits on the floor, you're still doing the pose right. Don't worry about it. Notice how Val is kind of lifted with her hands to her heart. If yours are on the ground for balance, don't worry about it. You're still in the pose. It's beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Lift your chest. As you exhale, we're going to Vinyasa. So start to spin towards that right knee. Hands down. Right foot steps back. Chaturanga. Here we come. Lift your heart and exhale your butte. Awesome. Nice deep inhale and full surrendering exhale. Deep breath in to lift that left leg. Exhale, crescent warrior. Step it through. Rise up with the arms. Stay lifted on the ball of that back foot. Keep driving the weight into the front foot. The knee shoots forward but not past the ankle. Deep breath in. Exhale the left hand to the right hamstring, exalting her warrior. Lifting through the belly, lifting through the arm. Gaze lifts to that palm. And as she exhales, warrior 2, open it up. Hi, facing the camera now, gorge. All right, so you want to have at least either the front heel in line with the back arch, or if you have the balance to do it, both heels can be in line. So you just kind of work your way to wherever you're going to be at. Use an exhale to drop those shoulders. Flip the front palm, breathe it forward, exhale it backward, like you're high-fiving a wall. So the wrist stays kind of straight, no kind of like bending in the wrist here. Lift your upper body. Beautiful. And then let's straighten that front leg, reversing our triangle. Give that wrist a little pull back with the right hand. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Going Skandasana towards the front of the mat, bending the left knee, lifting the right toes. So what you want to feel this in is those inner thighs. You're definitely going to get a stretch on that right inner thigh. And then just notice, like, cave your heart forward, Val, and like round your upper back. So we see this a lot. It's okay. You got to work your way to a straight spine, but as much as you can, try to lift your heart in front of you. Try to spread the collarbones and let the heart come forward through the shoulders. There we go. And as you exhale, let's take that vinyasa. Hands down around that front foot. Kick it back to your plank pose. Come down to the bottom of your push-up. Move your heart forward. And Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog on the exhale. Deep breath in. Even deeper breath out. All right. So just kind of noticing in your down dog where you hold your weight in space. Maybe you can bend those knees, lift higher through the tail. All right, and maybe you can drive your armpit chest back towards your thighs. Very nice. If you're somebody who's obsessed with feet on the ground, like full heel on the ground, that's really cool, but you're probably compromising your low back to do that. So notice how she lifts up the heels, bends the knees, and that straightens the back out a little bit. So find that for yourself. You're going to take another deep breath in, open up your mouth, and exhale. Let's lift our right leg on an inhale, crunching the knee towards the nose on the exhale. Inhale to put the foot in between the hands and stay there with your left arm. Lift your right arm up. This is revolved side angle lunge. Continue to look up at your top hand. And then imagine the right ribs kind of lifting to the ceiling and the left ribs touching that right inner thigh. That's how much you want to twist. Deep breath in. Exhale, warrior two. Open it up. Bring the right arm forward, the left arm back. Taking that same reverse warrior, so keeping the front knee bent, lifting the right hand like it's going to high five a wall. But let's deepen here. Bend the right elbow, take the left hand to the right elbow, and start to reach that armpit open. Send the chest back, back, back. Bend through that front knee a little bit more. And we're going to take that right elbow on an exhale and place it on the right knee. Lift the left arm high, side angle pose. So two variations of this. You can go elbow, knee, or you can go hand all the way down by the ankle. Maybe you put it on a block. All right, the only thing you don't want to compromise is that long right side body. So if you're starting to crouch down towards the floor, just start lifting. Be honest with yourself. Come up onto that knee. Deep breath in. And as she exhales, reverse triangle. So we're coming straight with that right knee, lifting the right hand behind us. On your next breath in, we're going wide leg stance. So all the toes pivot to face the same direction. Reach the arms high, the shoulders together. And on an exhale, wide leg forward fold. So crouch it down, head comes low. And here, there's a few things you can do to refine. You want to be on the pinky toe edges of the feet. So that's going to lift the inner arches up, releasing your hamstrings a little bit. And if you're someone that can't really get super low with the legs wide, that's okay. Come back with a shorter stance, and you'll work your way to a wider stance someday. You're going to be here for one more deep inhale. On the exhale, notice if you can deepen. Inhale to lift halfway onto the fingertips. Take your hands to your hips. We're going to rise up with a flat back. Unless you have a wall in front of you, then you have to move your head around. So inhale and lift back into that star pose. And you're going to get a little bouncy in that front knee because we're going to step to the back of our mat and find a tree pose. So let's go over the tree variations. You can literally just lift your heel and angle your arch of your foot around the ankle, and that's still tree pose. If you want to travel that foot up to the left leg, that's cool, but just make sure you're not on the knee. So that's a no-go right there. That's going to hurt your knee joint. But you don't have to be super high or down on the ground. You can kind of challenge yourself. And then let's add something. The right elbow might come down into the right rib cage area, maybe even lay the hand on the thigh. If you have some balance here and you want to play, lift that left arm up and over, kind of creating like a little half moon shape with the arms. Deep breath in. Exhale, stabilize. Come back up with the arms, and then lift that right leg and take a big old step to the front of your mat. Spin those left and right toes to all face the top of your mat. And then hands come together in prayer overhead. We're going to come in for a pyramid pose. So you might step that back foot up a little bit. As you exhale, you're kind of rolling down, chin tucked over that leg. And then you'll notice if you are unable to straighten both legs, two things you can do. You can either lift onto the pinky toes, or the tip toes rather, of that back foot, or you can step that back foot in like one footprint. All right, and then there's a few little refinings that can happen. You're still pulling back from the right hip, bringing the front or left hip forward. And then for an added challenge, maybe take your hands in prayer and float the pinkies above that right foot. That's going to add some core work here. Deep breath in. As you exhale, hands plant around that front foot. Kick that left leg up, standing splits. Beautiful. So it really doesn't matter if you're actually doing the splits and your legs are two straight little toothpicks, one on top of the other, or if you're in like a standing L, right? We got to start somewhere, so just be honest with yourself. One more deep breath and lift from the inner thigh of that left leg. And as you exhale, let's take our vinyasa. Bend the right knee, left toes to the ground. Kick it back and inhale the chest. Exhale, down dog. Awesome. A few deep breaths here are going to be your best friend. So let out some heat from an open mouth. Awesome. If your dog's making noise in the other room, just like try to send them away. Inhale the left leg nice and high. As you exhale, knee towards the face, crunch it in. Step the foot in between the hands. Leave the left or right hand down, left arm goes nice and high, and we're revolving that rib cage towards the leg. So hug the left knee in, reach the ribs towards that left thigh. One more deep inhale. Exhale, pop it up to your warrior two. Open it up. Beautiful. Bend into that front knee. Make sure you're still on the pinky toe edge of that back foot, just like our wide leg forward fold. Let's reverse our warrior. Keep a good bend in that front knee. High five something behind you. And then bend your elbow. Grab that left elbow with the right hand. Reach your armpit open. Don't let your dog come in the room, though. All right. Continuing to breathe. As you're ready, take that left knee side angle pose. So better view of the options here. You might come all the way down with the hand towards the ankle, and if you do that, push your leg into your hand and your hand into your leg. All right, but make sure you don't get that crouching that Val just showed you in the side body. Lift up nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, reverse your triangle. Front knee straightens. Front hand high fives a little pretend wall. Full deep breath. Both arms reach high. Those left toes pivot towards everything in front of you. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And wide leg forward fold on the exhale. Awesome. This time do something different with your hands, right? If last time they just hung out on the mat, maybe this time they grab for your ankles or the pinky toe edges of your feet. You start walking yourself a little further underneath the pelvis. Inhale to lift halfway onto the fingertips. Exhale, hands to the hips. We're going to rise up flat back to standing. Arms come out like wings. Squeeze the shoulder blades again. Get bouncy in that left knee. Use a little momentum to step back to the back edge of your mat. And let's find that variation of tree pose that works for this side. And then just kind of notice if it's not the same as side one. If this side you need it to come down or higher up with the foot on the leg. Notice what you did. Let's find that little high circle. The right arm. Don't compromise your balance though. If you start to wiggle wobble, it's normal. Trees do that too, but maybe you come out of that little side stretch. Beautiful. Last inhale, we're going to reach up with the foot out. Spin all the toes forward. Reach the arms into prayer. Straighten through that front knee and exhale, tuck the chin and dive it down like you're diving into a pool, right guys? Quarantine, we might stay home and do some pool time. And then notice what you need to do. Maybe you pull back on that left hip and that's good enough. Maybe you're like, I can't even straighten my front knee. That means you shorten your stance. So just, again, be honest with yourself. Check in with what you need here. Maybe you hover those pinkies above the ground. Inhale to reach through that front knee. And then as you exhale, put the hands on the ground. So you might have a little bend in that front knee to start. You're going to hop that back leg up, hopefully straightening both knees as you find the expression of half splits that you want to here, or standing splits rather. So we're lifting from the right inner thigh. Lift that leg a little bit higher. Nice. And then let's drip the toes down to the mat, bend that front knee deeper, and we're going to take our vinyasa. Step it back. And you're going to move through a full vinyasa here, landing in your down dog at the end. We're going to take a super deep breath in together. And on your exhale, drop your knees, child's pose for a few breaths. So again, in your child's pose, you're using the exhales to push through the hands and maybe drive those hips back towards the heels a little bit more. Awesome. Couple more deep breaths. Always creepy crawling those fingers a little further forward every time you inhale. And always pulling the shoulders down the back every time you exhale. In child's pose, we use this time to elongate the breath. So instead of checking out, we check back in. How many seconds is my inhale? How many seconds is my exhale? Can I add 1 or 2 seconds to that time frame? Right? Opening up our lung capacity. And this gets us ready for the rest of our flow. So on your next inhale, you're going to pull into a plank position at the head of your mat. In plank, we want the hands right underneath the shoulders. And then Val's going to show us what we normally see. Sometimes the hips are too high and they're like over the back. And so we want to level that out. Now, you don't want to drop it too low to where the pelvis is dipping down. You need strong integrity in that core, and that means in your back too. So lift your tailbone and then tuck it under a little bit, and then spike the heels to the back edge of the mat and hug your low ribs in. The belly wants to kind of hug inward and up towards the spine. And then we're going to hip dip. So we'll roll to the left side first. Lift up that right arm as you dip your hip low, and then exhale, hands down, and we'll move to the right side. Inhale to reach, and exhale, we'll move to the other side. So options. While you're doing this, if you notice it's easier to drop your knee and kind of help you out in a modified side plank, that is okay. You can do that. As you work through your flows, your practice will change and you'll notice a little bit more strength. All right, the next time that you come left, we're going to hang out there. So decide now if you'd like to drop your right knee. All right, the left leg might lift a little. Left hand behind the head. On your inhale, you're going to bend the left knee. Exhale, crunch, elbow towards knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, crunch. One more. You got it. Inhale, exhale, crunch. And let's move to the other side. Left hand down. Spin to that left leg. Inhale the right leg up. And exhale, bend the knee. Let's crunch. 2 more. You're strong. You can do it. And you're in the comfort of your own home. So if some bad words need to come out of your mouth, that's cool. Come back to your plank when you're ready. We're going to lower the knees and find puppy pose. So reach the arms forward, forward, forward. You want to open the armpits towards the floor. Now in puppy pose, you can put your forehead on the ground if you'd like to. That's where most of us are going to end up. Sometimes though, we have the depth to put the chin on the ground. So if you've really worked that flexibility in your chest and in your shoulders, you're probably going to be able to open your throat more here. Now, the biggest thing that you don't want to lose is lifting this tailbone nice and high. So it's not like a child's pose where we're rounded, but rather it's kind of like a baby down dog. And we'll breathe here for 2 more rounds of breath. The second exhale is going to take you to your down dog. So you'll curl your toes, press through the palms, and you might have to shorten the distance between hands and feet. That's totally okay. Start to find that nice long spine, that high tailbone. And take a deep breath in, exhale, release out an open mouth. Very nice. On your inhale, tippy toes. And on your exhale, drive the heels closer to the mat. Once more, inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, heels down. Lifting the right leg on an inhale. Exhale, knee towards the face. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, crunch it in. Last time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hold the crunch. Try to lift the knee a little higher. Push down through the hands. And then step that foot right in between the hands. Leave your left hand down. Reach the right arm nice and high. Revolved side angle. Keep on twisting through that torso. And keep on taking the knee closer to the chest. So really hug that knee in. From here, we're going to visit that side plank. So you can drop the left knee if you'd like to, or you can just smooth that right leg back to meet the left. You can decide what you want to do with that right leg. It might lift. Come to a tree pose, visiting our same pose from earlier. Right? This is hand to big toe pose. And just kind of play. See what's available. Another beautiful thing about being in your own house. We're going to come through our plank again, lift back into a three-legged down dog. That right leg lifts nice and high. As you exhale, warrior 2. Step that foot in between the hands, open it up. Very nice. Inhale. Exhale, drop those shoulders. We're going to lift the right heel, so come up onto the tippy toes. See if that allows you to bend the knee more. Reverse your warrior. Try to keep the heel lifted, the knee nice and bent. All right, deep breath in. As you exhale, set that foot down, straighten the knee, reverse triangle. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, let's find a triangle pose. Bump the hips back, the arms forward. And here's 2 options. You can find this tick-tock of the arms that Val has here, lifting one shoulder on top of the other. You might have the bottom hand on a block, or maybe it's just resting on your shin. Or, for some added core strength, both of the arms are going to frame the face, and you're going to lift through your core. Lift those right ribs up just a hair. Inhale. And as you exhale, let's come up to that star pose. Nice high arms, squeezing an imaginary pencil in between your shoulder blades. Take a big leap of faith to the back of your mat. We're going to find that tree pose again. So come up to whatever expression is right for you. And know you can always use your hand to put your foot where it needs to go. We don't got to prove anything here, especially at home. Inhale to lift your heart. And exhale, we're going to add branch. If you like that little half moon circle with your arms, you can find that here for sure. A little swaying in the wind is exactly what trees do. So don't be like hard on yourself if you're wobbling, if you're not finding balance. It comes with time. All right, from here, that right foot is going to detach. The knee is about hip height. Start to shoot that right leg long behind you so it's coming towards the back of the room. The left arm will drive down. Half moon is where we're going. So if you need a little more length, just one leg hop like Val just showed you. All right, so this is our half moon. Our hips are kind of opening up to stack one on top of the other, and so are our shoulders. So to make it more challenging, you might gaze up at your top hand. Right? That sometimes allows us to lose our balance, so don't get hard on yourself if that happens. But let's show you. You might bend the knee. Stretch here. You'll stabilize through that standing leg. You got it, guys. One more inhale. And as you exhale, feet come together. You're forward fold at the side of your mat. So just let yourself kind of hang in half here. Deep breath in. As you exhale, start to crouch down into like a little yogi ball here. The hands come to the outside of that right leg, and we're going to come in for a side crow. So the right hand might stagger away from the left. You want the left arm and the right arm to create a little shelf, just like they do in chaturanga. It's about a 90-degree angle. You're going to lay your side body on that left elbow. The right elbow doesn't really catch much, and let's show them, maybe you just keep the right toe the ground today and you only lift the left and you just kind of modify. Yeah. And then if you want, you play with floating both. Awesome. So when you're ready, we're going to come back to that forward fold at the side of the mat. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And then take a big, huge step with that right foot back up to the head of your mat. Spin all the toes to face the same direction, and let's move through our vinyasa. Very nice. Exhale that booty back, and we'll go straight in. So 3 breaths before we move through our second side. And anytime you've got the breaths, whether it's in child's pose or a resting down dog, you are checking in with the length of the breath, trying to make it longer on both the inhale and the exhale. So we'll lift the left leg on a breath in, and we've got 3 crunches. Knee towards the face, exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch, hold it in. Hug the knee up towards the chest, and then step it through. Lift that left arm, nice revolved side angle. Beautiful. Keep revolving by pushing that right hand into the earth, bringing the chest towards the thigh. One more deep breath in. And exhale, we're going to go side plank. So roll onto the edge of that right foot. You decide what the left leg does. You even get to decide if the right knee is hanging out on the mat. That's going to help you out a lot here. So action coming through those top fingers. We don't want like a dead hand here. We really want to be able to like control the energy that's coming out of that straight line in between the arms. And when you're ready, we're going to go plank. And then we're going to shoot the hips back. 3-leg dog. Lift that left leg again. Exhale, warrior 2. So spin the right foot down at an angle. Open up your arms. And make sure that the shoulders stay over the hips in your warrior 2. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift that heel. See if you can deepen the bend. Reversing the warrior with the lifted heel. So keep a good bend in that front knee. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Straighten the leg. Reverse triangle. Hang out here for a second. You're ready. Bump the hips back, the arms forward, and you decide. You're either finding that tick-tock of the arms. They're at 6 and 12 o'clock. Or you're lifting the arms to frame the face in your core triangle. And honestly, 1 arm is going to add a little more strength. 2 is going to add a lot. So you decide what you need here. 1 more breath. Exhale, rise into your wide leg stance. It's a star pose, so take up some energy here. You're a big bursting star. You have so much strength. All right. We're going to go big ol' hop to the back of the mat to find our tree pose. So decide how high up or low down that leg is coming. Is on that right leg. Squeeze together whether the arms are lifted or not. You can always have hands at the hips. Deep, deep breath in. Full breath. Notice how Val is like staring. This is called a drishti. Okay, this is a focal point in yoga. This is what you keep your balance. So if your eyes are darting around the room, that's part of the reason why you're wobbling. Find something to stare at, and then keep staring at it. We're going to go in for half moon. The left hand will trickle down to the mat. The right leg will shoot long behind you. And you'll start to lift through the right inner thigh. Now, Val rotated on her mat. You don't need to do that. That was just to show you the angle of the half moon. So if you went in for full moon on side 1, you're going to bend that right knee, reach back. See if you can grab the foot. Left leg. Thanks, Val. It's nice to have a little assistant. Take the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot. And you got it. When you're ready, release. We're standing in a forward fold at the side of our mat. All right, deep breath in. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Start to crouch into a little ball. Hands come out to the right side of the leg. Start to find that shelf, and of course, stagger your left hand. There we go. Moving into your side crow, leaning what you can onto that shelf. Staying as long as you want to stay. There's some things you can do in side crow. We'll go over that another day. We're going to come back to our forward fold. Exhale, maybe deepen, maybe hug your legs. Yes, gorgeous. When you inhale again, halfway lift. When you exhale, take a big old step with that left leg, spin all the toes to face front. We're going to chaturanga and come to a nice juicy child's pose when you're ready. So take a little break. And child's pose can always be knees together to round the spine or legs wide to melt the chest in between the knees. 2 things that we have worked on all throughout class. So you decide what you want. Take a few more deep, full breaths here. It's always a little bit more doable and comfortable to practice in the comfort of your own home. However, it's nice to get a little bit of direction. So if you guys ever have any questions about exactly what we've done in a class, please let us know. Email us, send us a message on Instagram or Facebook. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Let's finish up our flow though. We're coming down into our warm down. Notice that says warm down, all right? This isn't a cool down. We're still gonna do some stuff, Val, all right? I'm not sorry. You're gonna lift into your down dog when you're ready. The hips get nice and high, and the chest, the spine get nice and long. All right, the right leg will lift on an inhale. As you exhale, we're going fallen star. So it's gonna be a little funky with the space we have, but that right leg shoots past the left elbow. When you feel stable, the left hand might lift. If you're a super advanced yogi and you want to try pulling on that right big toe and lifting the right leg, that is a fun option. Eventually come back to your fallen star, set your left hand down, lift that right leg long behind you again. Half pigeon is where we're going. Right knee goes behind the right wrist. The left leg walks long, long, long behind you. And then when you're ready, you melt down to your desired level. So you can stay lifted on the forearms. You can start elongating the arms and really melting your chest down towards the mat. You decide what you want to do with your forehead. Again, if you're lifted, just tuck your chin and make the neck long. But if you're melted down to the floor, just let your forehead hang out on the mat. Take some nice, deep, surrendering exhales. And just start to have some gratitude for the fact that we even get to do this, right? It's kind of a privilege that we're able to, from the comfort of our own homes, still having electricity, Wi-Fi, probably a nice stash of food for this quarantine, right? We're here. We're still able to breathe. Most of us are still healthy enough to move our body in this way. So just try to find the bright side in kind of this change that's come about for all of us. I'm going to be here for about 4 more breaths. As much as you can, even though it's difficult at times, try to slow the breath down. That's going to start relieving some heat, some toxicity, any tension that you've built up. And then we're going to drag the hands back under the shoulders and lift the chest. We're just going to check in with a quick little mermaid pose. So bend the left knee as much as you can. The left hand reaches back. It's in the big toe side of the foot. So sometimes you can hook the foot into the elbow crease here. Sometimes you're just reaching with the hands. If you want to make this little full mermaid happen, the right arm reaches up and tries to grab the left fingers. Deep inhale in. Exhale is a slow, graceful release of everything that's up. Bring it down to the mat, curl the left toes under. Let's go 3-legged down dog. So if you want, you can flip your dog. Let's just see. Yep, Val can make it happen with this tight little space. And then exhale and come back to the 3-legged dog. If you're not a dog flipper, we'll show you an option for this. You can just bend your knee and take some little knee circles here. So in that 3-legged down dog, knee bends, and you kind of just open and close the hip. Let's go the other way to even it out. And then come back to your dog, and we'll go left side. Left leg shoots up. Exhale, knee goes towards the right elbow. Elongate the leg. Let's find that fallen star. Right hand can lift. Maybe you hook the peace fingers to that left big toe. You lift the leg. Yeah, and just kind of play with the variations that you might have here. Back to the fallen star. Exhale, 2 hands down. 3-legged dog. Left leg nice and high. Exhale, knee behind the left wrist. Walk the right leg back nice and long. You want the top of that right leg, the knee, the top of the shin on the mat. So if you're kind of rolled to the outside of the hip or maybe the inside of the knee, you just need to kind of wiggle yourself. Maybe you need to bring the left knee like closer to your chest, the foot closer to the pelvis. And then go ahead and just start getting all melty in whatever variation that you've chosen here. Finding those deep, full breaths and those slow, controlled rhythm of breath. Hanging out in our pigeon pose for about 1 minute. So if you're focusing on what you feel in this pose, that's beautiful. Give it a little check-in and then let it go and let your brain go somewhere else. Not back to what's going on after class, but maybe to a nice memory that you have or to a good idea that you're trying to bring into fruition. But focus on something else that isn't your tension. Three more breaths. On that last exhale, hands come under the shoulders, lift your chest, and then start to bend that right knee. Right hand reaches back on the big toe side of the foot. Now you can just pull the foot closer to you, or you can start reaching foot into elbow, reaching left hand to maybe grab the right fingers, and then just opening up through the chest, sending the belly forward. Deep breath in. Exhale, graceful release. Curl those right toes under, lift the knee, three-legged down dog. Any post-pigeon stretches you like to take. You can flip the dog. You can take those knee circles, but you know the options, so do what works for you. We're going to lower the knees all the way to the ground, swing the legs to one side, and bring the legs out long, Dandasana. So, staff pose. You're rooting down through the heels and the sits bones, lifting the crown of the head towards the top of the room, and then dropping those shoulders, of course. Hopefully not wearing them like little earrings. We're going to take a seated forward fold. So bend your knees a little bit. If you've got a booty like Val, I never have to worry about this, but if you've got a booty like Val, you want to move the fleshy part of the booty away. And then I like to have enough space in between my knees that I know my head could comfortably land there. Bend those knees, lift the arms overhead, deep breath in. As you exhale, it's like you're passing somebody a beach ball. You're taking the belly to drape over the thighs. The hands might touch the arches of the feet, but if they don't, again, don't judge yourself. We get there in bits and pieces. It is a practice, not a perfect. So pull your head down in between your knees, and you're definitely going to feel a little dull, achy feeling along the spine. This is you finding space. This is literally your vertebrae opening. So can you sink into that space? Deep inhale in, deep exhale out. Any noises going on outside of the room, just let them be, right? Maybe dogs, maybe kids beating on the door to get inside to hang out with mom. Or dad, no shame. And then we're going to inhale, lift our chest halfway. And exhale, come all the way back up, long spine, shoulders over the hips. So let's come out wide to face the camera here. And we're going to go in for Janu Sirsasana, forehead to knee. So Val's going to bring her left leg long and her right foot to her inner thigh. She's going to spin her torso to face over that left leg. Lift the arms nice and high. And exhale, fold over that left leg. So it's forehead towards knee pose. It doesn't have to be to knee. But the biggest little trick in yoga is if you can't bring the forehead to the knee, bend the knee and bring it to the forehead. Yeah, big trick. All right, we're here for 2 breaths. And I want you to continue holding on to the left foot with the right hand, or at least reaching for the left toes with the right hand. When you're ready, you're going to thread the needle here. The left arm is going underneath the right, maybe grabbing for the knee. If you can't reach the knee, just grab on to maybe the ground and just reach for these parts of the body. If you can make contact, you're pulling your gaze underneath the left arm, right arm, the top arm, and then opening through the armpit chest. That stretch is going all the way past the ribs. And in a deep breath in, she's going to release, lift both arms high overhead, and exhale that right hand down by the booty. Lift up the hips, lift the left arm. Awesome. Exhale to sit down, and let's rock that second side. Right leg comes out long. It is diagonal from us. It's at an angle. Left knee bends. Lift the arms up nice and high. Bend that knee a little bit, and as you exhale, pass that beach ball, fold over. Bring forehead towards the knee. And then maybe you use the exhales to start to straighten that knee if it's going to straighten for you. Keep holding on with the left hand. We're going to thread that right arm underneath the left, grab onto the left knee. And then whatever you can do to pull the chest under the arm, and then just kind of soften here. Try to pull the shoulders down, relax the neck, relax the jaw. Deep breath in, deep breath out. On an inhale, both the arms lift back overhead, left hand towards the booty, lift the hips, lift the right arm. Exhale to sit down. Legs swing back forward. We're going to windshield wiper the legs all the way down to our spine. So that literally just means wiper the knees like they were windshield wipers. Feel that little massage on the butte. And then hug the knees in towards the chest. Deep breath in. Exhale, supine twist. So the knees can fall left or right. It doesn't matter. Just open your arms like wings or cactuses that would be bent at the elbows. And then again, we're back at this twist. So you decide if you want a full body twist, you're looking over the opposite shoulder that the knees have traveled to. Okay, so knees one way, gaze the other way. Val's showing you some variations here. You can always straighten the top leg, bend the bottom knee pretty deeply, and maybe reach for that foot with the opposite arm. That would be called a cat tail, or just yogi pretzel if you speak English. All right, deep breath in. Exhale. And we'll come back to center on an inhale. Hug those knees in. Exhale, drop them to the opposite side. Whatever way that you were looking before, look the opposite way. And then you can always match what you did on side one, and if you don't, it just means that on side two you just did something different. It's all good. It's not like against yoga rules or anything. So just make sure your breath is full, your neck is nice and relaxed here. Everything waiting after this class can continue to wait, right guys? We're quarantined, okay? We're not going nowhere. So 2 more breaths here in this pose. Beautiful. When you have another inhale, come back to center. We'll find a happy baby here. So the knees want to drive into the armpits. The grip of the hands is on the outside of the legs. So even if you can't grab the pinky toe edges of the feet, you're grabbing onto at least your shins, maybe your ankles. Yeah. And then someday the tailbone would angle down to the floor. Make sure the chin is tucked so the neck is long. We'll take 2 deep breaths here. And we're going to go legs up the wall. So just bring the legs together, the ankles together, and lift those feet nice and overhead. If it feels kind of like core work-y to keep the legs going like this, you can always bend the knees and just add a little more ease into this posture. If you're somebody with a plow in your practice, Val's going to take us there now. Lift up your booty. Bring the hips over the shoulders and maybe the toes to point behind you. If the toes reach the ground, you can bend your knees and bring the knees to the outsides of the face for deaf man's pose or ear pressure pose. Keep breathing. On an inhale, start to come out the way you came, straighten the knees. Bring those legs up and overhead. Lower the low back, back down to the mat. Hug the knees into the chest. Forehead up to the knees. Little tiny yogi ball. Squeeze everything really tight. Contract the toes, the fingers, the abs, everything. And then let it go. Shavasana is what awaits us. Now, if you're a yogi that likes to turn this off during Shavasana, you're like, I got better things to do. Let me tell you what, just spend 2 minutes here laying down, checking in with your breath, and letting all of that stuff that we did for an hour integrate into your body. I always say Shavasana is important. It's the most important part of class. If you were to like get up and walk out of the movie theater before the final scene, I mean, are you kidding? This is the final scene. So enjoy it. Soak it in. You guys have done a great job. Again, if you have questions, let us know. If not, thank you for practicing your core and asana with Yoga on a Roll.